You've been rumored for Love Island so many times by the press.
Yeah,
Now, I know you've cleared up some of these rumors on your account, your IG account,
yeah.
but for the record here, can we see you on the show anytime soon?
Well,
I think we should start with what was life like growing up for you in Oxford?
I had a very
And that leads me on to the next question. I read somewhere that you also with Neves modeling agency as well,
yeah.
briefly.
So Nevs were
And hello and welcome to the Anmol Lakhani Show Series 3, Episode 3? Yeah, just had to wrap my brain to think what episode I'm on. But today we've got Ted Pullin on the show. How are you?
I'm doing very well, mate. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good to be honest. Yeah, just a busy, crazy day. But you
Been
know what?
busy?
Yeah, yeah, busy. But yeah, all is good, and here we are. So yeah, let's get started. So I think we should start with what was life like growing up for you in Oxford?
I had a very nice upbringing. I had loving parents, two amazing brothers. Grew up in a house in a little village in Oxfordshire called Ensham. I've only really got happy memories from my childhood. Played a lot of sport growing up. I loved going to school. Not I wasn't too much of like a bookworm, but I loved. Well, I think everyone now as an adult looking back at school, you're just like, I wish I could kind of do, just hanging out with your mates all day, playing lots of sport. Um, Growing up was really good for me. Yeah, I was very lucky to have the childhood I had.
And you just briefly talked about your rugby career. Can you explain briefly about that, how you got into it?
Um, so I wouldn't say it was a career. I played from the age of 4 until um, I was 17. My dad was a big rugby fan, and my other two brothers played as well. So I played for three or four different clubs growing up. And then as you get older, you get opportunities at the county level. Always played for school. And then about 15, I was picked up by the London Wasps Academy. London Wasps were a Premiership team at the time. They've since gone into administration. Um, and did that. I did want to be a professional. Uh, Looking back though, I was A, not big enough, B, probably not good enough. Um, uh, I don't regret not getting a contract or anything though. I think it was right, but I honestly think rugby was such a formative part of my life, and it shaped me into a big part of who I am today, and taught me a lot of amazing lessons. Um, and so I'm very grateful that my dad made me go because I hated it at first when I was younger. You know,
Wow.
think about it like as a 4 or 5 year old kid being made to go and stand in a rainy field on a freezing December morning with sideways rain and being somewhere you don't want to be. Um, I really hated it, but my parents made me stick at it, and then 9, 10, I found myself getting pretty good, and then loved it from there. And then I was gutted to have to quit when I was 17.
What? So you just mentioned lessons briefly. What lessons did it teach you?
I think it taught me a lot about leadership. I was lucky enough to be the captain of some of the teams I played for. Taught me lots about leadership. Just kind of doing hard work, brutal work for someone else as well. The great thing about rugby is not only like you've got to be willing to put your head where it hurts for the sake of your teammate, knowing that they do that for you. Um, it taught me respect. Um, it taught me discipline. It's, I mean, there was a lot of fun as well on and off the pitch.
Hmm.
Um, Camaraderie, the social skills that give you meeting people in what can be such a hostile environment, certainly during the games anyway. Um, it taught me to be able to control my emotions, um, and then kind of compartmentalize different situations. One of the great things about the sport of rugby is that you've essentially got two groups of 15 guys trying to beat the living hell out of each other for 80 minutes. But then as soon as the final whistle goes, you're off going and everyone's buying each other a beer, both teams mixing, socializing, and you're just best mates. And there's a mutual respect there, I think, between people who play rugby at a certain level. Um, yeah.
Yeah. And is the next question is, how did you get into modeling?
Wow. I mean, so that happened about 2 weeks after I quit rugby.
What are the
I
chances?
it's it's it was a kind of the case of knowing the right people.
Yeah.
A boy I went to school with, primary school with, who I hadn't seen in a long, long time. His parents um, are directors at Storm Modeling Agency, who I'm with now in London. And I don't know if we'd seen them at a Christmas party or something, but they'd asked me to come in and get some photos taken, which I did. And then after the photos, they initially actually turned me down. But what I did have from that was a portfolio that sent me on 3 or 4 shoots. And so I had 1,200, maybe 1,500 quid worth of professional photos that I could then take to different agencies in London. So sure enough, I walked basically across the road to the next agency who signed me there. And I was there for
Uh-huh.
5 or 6 years.
May I just point out, Storm Models is one of the biggest agencies in, like, I wouldn't say the UK, I'd say like the world. Recently
Yeah.
it's just signed Yasmin from Love Island. May I just
Say
point
that
that
again.
out? Yasmin from Love Island. You didn't know that?
Oh yeah. No,
Hmm.
I haven't watched Love Island in a while. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that is, but well, I'm with Storm now, so maybe I'll see them in the
Yeah.
in the agency sometime.
If you pop by, definitely say hello to her. She's lovely.
Absolutely.
And that leads me on to the next question. I read somewhere that you're also with Neve's modeling agency as well,
Yeah.
briefly.
So Nevs were so that's the agency I was talking about when I said Storm turned me down and I went over the road. That was
Yeah.
Nevs, who were brilliant. They were probably a much better fit for what I needed at the time as a model, just starting out. Um, they were they were far more commercial than Storm, um, how I found, and they how do I describe it? I think Nevs were more willing to send me off for sort of beginner type jobs. So
Yeah.
um, I was most of my first work, believe it or not, was unrecognized. So if you see pictures of models in clothes where basically there's no face in it. I mean, I had a shoot with Nevs for Adidas, and I was really in my first year, and I was really, really pumped up for it. And I get there, and it's for what was the Ultra Boost at the time, one of their trainers. And I'm thinking, I'm shit. I've got this figured out. I'm working for Adidas. This is obviously a big campaign. All they took pictures of was my ankles down in in the shoe. Believe it. So they use models for that sort of stuff. Um, but Nevs were great. Yeah, they were brilliant. And I'm still in touch with the people there because I mean I was there for 6 years, and I owe a lot of my success in the industry to them starting out.
Any famous faces? Any name drops?
Um, I mean, well, that tends to come more from the sort of influencer side,
Yeah.
the social media side. I used to do a lot of work with BoohooMAN back in the day. I started up again recently, but I'd go to lots of events with them, and they'd get on, whoever the Love Island cohort were at the time, which back when I was doing it was, Jack Fowler, Tommy Fury, Wes Anderson, all those kind of guys. Um, I've done a few kind of acting bits as well with some fairly well known and just extras work on my part. I'm not like I don't have a named role in any of this stuff. Um, with some fairly big actors. That being said, I'm not sure I can actually say anything about it because I've signed NDAs and nothing's come out yet. So
Yeah,
sorry to
maybe best. Maybe
dangle
best.
that. Maybe we don't
Yeah.
say that.
We're not gonna get anything. Not today. So you probably kind of answered this already, but How did it feel to be recognized in the street by one of the biggest brands ever?
What do you mean? Are you referring to a specific
So like,
instance,
how
or?
did it feel to be recognized? Like if people recognize you
I
just
like
generally.
it. I like it. It's it kind of depends what it's for, you know.
Yeah,
Because some people know me from work with different brands. As my social media grew, it was more just you're that. I mean, one of the brands I've worked with for the longest is Blakeley Clothing, which is probably the thing I get recognized for the most if I'm wearing it. Certainly in London. Um, and so it's often people come up and say, "Oh, you're the Blakeley guy." But what I really like is when people come up and say, "Oh, you're Ted Pullin," right? Because they know me from something else other than me wearing the clothes with the brand all over it. But it's cool. People tend to be very respectful. I haven't had any weird stuff. Um, I like it. You got to be a little bit. If I'm on a night out, it's sometimes, you know, it. Whereas I used to not have a care in the world, it makes you, think twice about someone could get a photo of me being like sloppy drunk somewhere, and then that could end up somewhere.
yeah,
But all in all, I like it. It's cool. It's really cool, especially when they know me from the things I want them to know me from.
yeah. And you must feel proud of your work, right? And you must feel proud of yourself.
Yeah, I do. I do like it. I do, especially when it's more the social media side. I think, and I like that because that's all come from me, and it's sort of written, directed, produced by me. It's cool being recognized for clothing ads and stuff, but I mean that's just more down to the brand's advertising budget than it is anything I do. Like
Yeah,
just how many people it gets put in front of.
yeah.
So I can't really take credit for that. But certainly if it's from TikTok or Instagram, then that feels really cool. It means my stuff's hitting a lot of people, a lot of nice people, and that feels good.
And guys, if you see me looking down at my phone, it's just because I'm taking off the questions as I go along because I don't want to repeat
Oh, that's
any.
okay. No,
I
no,
don't want to
that's cool.
say the same stuff over and over again. Going off slightly here. Can I hear an Australian accent in your
So
voice?
I get asked this so much, and no, you, you can't. And I don't know where it's come from. The only thing I can think of is my ex girlfriend was from New Zealand, and we were together for a year and a half, 2 years. So unless I've picked up a twang from that, which I don't think I would have because I was 24 when we met, um, I don't know where it's come from. But I get this a lot at the moment. So maybe I need to go over some elocution lessons or something and remind myself I'm not Aussie.
How old are you now?
I'm 26, 27 next month.
Oh, same as me. Same as me. Must have been 1999, right?
I'm 98.
Oh,
98, yeah.
oh, one more year after me. Okay, okay, but that's another. We can talk about that after we go off air. Not a topic for this conversation here. Do you have any advice to share on anyone who wants to get into the modeling industry?
Yes, actually, it's interesting you ask. I got a call about 2 weeks ago from a kid who went to the same school as me, who's thinking about getting into the industry now. Maybe it's not so much. Maybe I wouldn't describe it as advice, but I think the modeling industry, certainly on the guys' side, because I've only experienced that side, I can only speak for that side. I think it gets a bad rap. Um, People think there's all sorts of stuff going on behind the scenes, and like their agents and clients are saying, you need to lose this weight, you need to do this, you need to do this. And because it's all very body image centric, obviously it's open to a lot of
Yeah,
criticism now online at the moment. I've never had an instance in my career, and I've been doing this 10 years now, where anyone has made me feel uncomfortable, made me feel bad about myself, made me feel gross, made me do anything I didn't want to do. No dodgy stuff on the side, anything like that. Everyone I've met, and I could have just been lucky. I also haven't heard too many horror stories. Like, it's a really, really lovely industry. Now you get characters, you get all sorts of characters and everything, every part of life, right? And there's people I've worked with who I've enjoyed their company more than others. But I think the modeling industry really gets a bad rap, and the fashion industry as a whole. But from my experience, it's been great. Now, if I had to give advice to someone getting into the modeling industry, um, I would say yes to absolutely everything, because look, I went from trying to be a professional rugby player in 2 weeks to prancing around in my underwear on camera, right, in a space of 2 weeks, which is from arguably the most testosterone fueled environment possible to the complete other end of the spectrum. So there was scenarios at the start that I was very uncomfortable with. Not because anyone made me feel uncomfortable. It was just so new and alien to me, and it will feel to someone who's never done it before. It will feel quite strange, as anything new. Like putting yourself out there, you're on camera. This stuff's going on the internet, and once it's up there, it's there forever. Um, but just say yes to everything and sort of just lean into it as you would with anything else. Um, it's amazing, and if you can get it right, it will bring you all sorts of opportunities.
Oh, that's great. And finally, you've been rumored for Love Island so many times by the press.
Yeah,
Now, I know you've cleared up some of these rumors on your account, your IG account,
yeah.
but for the record here, can we see you on the show anytime soon?
Well, I'm I'm tempted to not give you a straight answer because every time there's an article about me in the Daily Mail, my followers go up by a couple thousand. So
That's mad. That's
I
absolutely
don't
mad.
want to. I'm not sure I want to confirm or deny anything, but I yeah, I was rumored to go on Love Island a few times, and I've been in many times for interviews and that sort of thing. I think the direction in which I'm looking to take my social media presence and personal brand now doesn't really align with not with reality television as a whole, but maybe that kind of arc of reality TV. I will never say no. Like I've just said, I've just given you a whole spiel about how you should say yes to everything.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'm actively seeking out to do at the moment. Um, but who knows? Who knows?
What about Big Brother? Try something different.
Big Brother would appeal more. I tell you what, I've never watched more than an hour of Big Brother. I think I've watched one episode, which would maybe make it even more interesting to go in somewhat blind. Um, um, Maybe something like that. Yeah, something not as based around relationships and that. Like I I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many people that go on Love Island are there to find the one, and I don't think it's a particularly crazy thing to say now.
Yeah.
Like if you're going into the villa to find true love, where there's six other people, right?
Yeah.
What you're cutting your odds by literally a billion by going in there. So I think the whole kind of this is a romance show thing with Love Island is kind of been and gone. People know what it is. Now I'm not saying people in there they don't find people they like and get together and have relationships that they're actually into. I'm not saying it's all a front, but it's. I think I'd have to be too. I'm not sure I could be my actual self on Love Island and not get booted off the show by the producers.
That's fair. I mean, that's a fair answer. That's a fair answer. Oh, Ted, thank you so much. Thank you
Hey,
so
thank you
much.
for having me on, and I love what you're doing as well. I've watched when you asked me to come on. I watched all the season 2 episodes,
Oh, did
and I love
you?
your show. I love your vibe, and it's a really cool thing going here. So I hope you keep going with it,
Oh,
and I wish you all the best with it.
oh, thank you. We could chat some more after about